Hi there. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about my views on certification and tie it back to one of my war stories. Now my kids tell me I got a lot, but there's one in particular that I think is relevant. The scene was around 1988 and I was the nighttime deputy commander for maintenance checking out the engine shop at Kelly Air Force Base. And I got a call over the brick, but for those that don't know, that's what came before the mobile phone, of a report of a possible fire over an aircraft maintenance division. So I got in my official car and I headed that way. And by the time I got over there to the hangar, there was a giant cloud of smoke and a policeman was already starting to cordon off the area and telling me to get back, or call for help. I informed him who I was, and I started by alerting the chain of command and alerting the emergency services. And within just seconds, my radio was alive with calls of people asking for help, sirens wailing, and even somehow or another the CNN truck was already raising its antenna across the base. Very shortly, it became clear what was going on. There was a B-52 undergoing maintenance that was in flames, and we were in a major catastrophic maintenance event. So I alerted the chain of command, the fire truck showed up, and as it turns out, a B-52 has magnesium parts in it on the engine mount that I'm aware of, and they can't be put out by the normal means. They have to be allowed to burn out and controlled, and so you got to put sand on them. So the night wore on. There were lines of dump trucks trying to back up to the flame, and we were trying to evacuate the people out of that hangar. At the end when it was all said and done, the B-52 was a complete loss. The only thing recognizable was the wingtips. The engines were completely fried. There was just a pile of smoking rubble there. One man was dead. He was burned to death in the cockpit, and 23 other people were badly burned in the accident. Shortly thereafter, I found myself participating in the accident investigation. And what did we find was the cause of this major strategic national disaster? Someone had cut a small metal plate to plug one of the fuel vent pipes and put it on there as part of a maintenance check. They had forgot to remove it, and through a communications breakdown, the shift that came after them lost track of it, and on the third shift they resumed where they were at and started pumping fuel into this fuel tank. That plug kept the air pressure from escaping, and eventually as they pumped fuel into it, the accident came about because the fuel tank burst, the fuel ran down through the aircraft, caught on fire, and because there were so many people working on the airplane who should not have been working on the airplane, they were all either killed or severely injured. What's this got to do with certification? Well, shortly thereafter, I was drafted to start what was called Maintenance University within the Aircraft Maintenance Division, because it turned out that of 94 or 97 fuel supply technicians, only one of them had ever been formally trained by the United States Air Force. Now these were all civilians, and they had no obligation to be, it turned out at the time, to be trained, but they were working on U.S. Air Force aircraft. In fact, what we found was that even though our technicians were authorized to sign off their own work, most of them were not trained or certified by the USAF to do the jobs that they were doing. Therefore, I was tasked with setting up a maintenance university and getting these people properly trained and sending them by hook or by crook, because it takes a lot of money, to the various technical training schools and getting them certified. Many of them failed, and we had to let them go. But it was too late. The B-52 was lost and that man was dead. So this was seared into my mind, that people that don't know what they're doing can cause major accidents. And sometimes it is life or death. Now, I don't believe that SAP certification is life or death most of the time, but we do touch industries that are life or death. I work especially around maintenance, repair, and overhaul operations. For example, Saudi Arabian Airlines, Thai Airways, and 100 other airlines are all using SAP. And I hope that the people that are doing that take safety and certification as seriously as I do. That's all I want to say about it today, and thank you for your time.